Action.
Hey, Ballet IV with the Rhythm Factory. It's Rebecca here. It's really tough right now, and I know you guys are probably just like super antsy, like cooped up at home, but we will get through this. We'll get through it together. We just got to look at some alternative means right now. Just stay healthy, stay with us, and stay positive. We'll kick this cord out of the way.
Those are my cords.
Oh yeah, my boyfriend Matt is the one on camera, so say hello.
Hello.
Matt. Yep, he's talked about a lot in class. Okay.
Aw, you mentioned me.
So, instead of doing just like some ballet stuff, which, we can do every week, I'm kind of wanting to focus more on some stretches this week that you guys can do, whether you're doing homework, which I'm sure school's still giving you unless you're on spring break. I know homeschooling kids probably are. Shout out to Reagan and others. So just what you can do when you're doing homework, when you're watching TV, especially like if it's raining and you just need to like do something to move your body, but you can't get outside. So I'm just going to give you a few stretches. We're going to start actually on the floor. So I'm going to mainly focus on some stuff that's really going to be helpful for your spines and your back. So, because if you're sitting on the couch all day or if you're sitting at the table doing homework, especially if you're on a computer, your back's really going to tighten up. I've told you the stories before. I've had some major back problems for about 6 years, and I just recently discovered some of these stretches in particular, and they've really helped me out a lot. So what you're going to do is you're going to start on your stomach, and you're going to spread your arms out to a T. And then, so this is how you start. You're going to take one elbow. I'm going to start with my left arm. It'll be right for your side, but my left arm. So whatever arm is tucked in underneath your shoulder, that leg is going to end up twisting. So if I have my left arm tucked here, I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to twist. And the idea is to keep this right shoulder on the ground, and you're kind of using this left hand to kind of push. So I'm not only getting a stretch in my shoulder, but I'm getting a stretch in my spine too. You can kind of do what you need to do, wide or close. I can get in pretty close because even though I have back problems, my spine's really flexible, ? So this is one thing I really like doing, especially if I do like upper body workouts or if my back is really tight. And your foot doesn't really have to go very far. It just kind of tucks back in, back here behind my knee.
You want to show where the foot goes? I'll come over here.
You can tell Matt's a photographer for a living.
I did cover the lens once with my finger.
Oh, well.
I forgot where the camera's out on your phone.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Hey, they need some humor in their lives. So then, just to go the other way, I'm going to do it just to be even. You tuck your right arm under and you twist with your right leg. Ooh, spine. Ooh, shoulder. Hello.
Do you want to point where you're feeling it the most? If you can.
Here.
Okay.
Thanks, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, some more back and like hip ones. I'm in like some tighter pants today. I'm about to go to work. Sorry, guys. So you guys all know the child's pose. You just lean forward. I can't really lean forward very far at the moment. But when I'm in child's pose especially, I kind of like to fluctuate between if I'm rounding my back or if I'm arching or keeping a neutral spine, because that's really where you're going to feel where in your back is the tightest. Now, with my back problems, it's mainly upper back. More commonly, it's lower back problems, so I'm really helping with the upper back right now. And so when you are in child's pose, typically, you try to get your hips to sit back on your heels and then as you reach forward, like so. But what I like to do is essentially get my upper leg to be parallel, like perpendicular to the floor, and then I reach out, because then my back tends to arch a little bit more than normal, and that's what gets into the upper part of my back. So it kind of looks something like this. And as you can see, my shoulder blades are really pinching together, and that's where my back tends to be the tightest. Now, if you tend to be tighter in your lower back, it's probably better if you sit back on your heels. But you can definitely go back and forth and kind of see what feels better on you. It's really important while we're not in the studio, guys, that you're still stretching. It's something you hear a lot, but it's really going to make things so much easier to then transition back to normal when we get back into the studio, especially since our piece is already finished. Definitely make sure you guys are reviewing that as well. I will be posting the music. The link will be at the bottom of this video with the cut version of the song, so you guys can really listen to that. So now we're going to go over to the table.
Oh, that means I need to get up off the floor.
Yes, Matt, good job.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So now not only will this one in particular help your back, but it'll really help your hamstrings, especially for those of us that have tight hamstrings, which I'm sure is a good portion of you in the class, just because tight hamstrings tend to be a thing. So I'm gonna kick my shoes out of the way. So this one, you're gonna need some type of higher up surface, whether it's the back of the couch. My couch just happens to be against the wall. So I'm gonna just use my dining room table. And it's really simple. For people like Pat and Presto who are taller, you might need something a little bit taller than this, which is why I recommend the back of the couch. It doesn't need to be flat, but it needs to be something that you can kind of place your hands and not slide off. So I'm gonna just place my hands on the table. I'm gonna start pretty close, and then I'm just gonna walk my way back until I'm basically at a flat back. So what I'm feeling here, hello guys, what I'm feeling here is really into my hamstrings and my back. So you can see I'm kind of dipping down into my back a little bit. I'm not necessarily arching, but I'm kind of, dipping down. This is really getting into my shoulders especially too. And with all the stress that I've been under recently at work, it's going straight into my shoulders, my neck, and my upper back. So this is really a nice way to kind of release everything. But at the same time, it's like you're starting to do a forward fold, but you're keeping everything straighter instead of just kind of rolling down. So this way you're actually getting deeper in your hamstrings. So you just start tipping forward. You hold onto the table just basically for stability. And I'm feeling it straight into my hamstrings right here. And for those of you with lower back problems, a lot of times that tightness is actually coming from your hamstrings. Your hamstrings may not feel tight, but when I've gone to the chiropractor, I've gone to a massage therapist, they say if my lower back is tight, it starts immediately with the hamstrings. So that's what they work on first, and then they actually get to my lower back. So those are just some stretches that I want you guys to kind of be focusing on this upcoming week. Next week, if we happen to be out of the studio, I'll kind of work with some, floor bar, some foot stretches. Actually, I'm going to show you the foot stretch now.
Okay.
This one is really great to just, if you're sitting, watching TV, you can sit back against the couch and you can be on the floor with this. Make sure you're still sitting up tall, just to make sure you kind of get the most out of it. You just take one foot and you don't want to push directly on the toe. You want to kind of push in the middle of the foot. But basically,
let me come closer to show
you're basically forcing the point and you're stretching this top part of the foot right here. That's what's...
Can you take your sock off, your black sock and your black pants? I can't really tell.
Thank you, Matt. The photographer here.
That's what I'm here for.
So I'm kind of pushing more on the top part of my foot, going more into my metatarsals and my phalanges here on my foot. And this is really getting the stretch, like I said, up on the top part of the foot. And this is really going to help your point, especially. I say a lot of you got to use you got to work through your feet. You got to make sure you point your toes so much harder. This is probably the greatest foot stretch ever. So now, my feet actually are pretty flexible. I can just see how they point. So basically, there's not much farther for them to go. So if I need a deeper stretch, what you can do, still have your hand on the top part of your foot, but then have opposing force. Start to try to flex your foot. And you're gonna get deeper here as well. And you can also do it with just like your foot in general and kind of get back into here. Now my feet are pretty flexible, so it takes a lot for me to actually feel anything. But make sure you kind of do with both feet. I'm not gonna do it on my left foot right now, but you can kind of see, if anything, you can see how the right foot has just a little bit more of a point than my left right now. I can see it from this angle. I'm not sure if you can.
I can tell.
Okay.
This one has more than that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So just doing some things like that. I know that they helped me a lot when I was in high school, and at my studio we had a couple of really bad winters and we'd be out of the studio for 2-3 weeks at a time. So those are some things that I did to make sure that I was still on top of things, and that I wasn't, super tight or, just kind of felt like I lost everything while I was at home. So those are things you don't need any equipment for. You can definitely use TheraBands with stretching your feet. I'm personally not a fan of those, but that's just because my feet are already so flexible. They just don't tend to really work for me, but definitely use those if you're up for it. Review this video as much as possible. It was incredibly awkward, but it's okay because I'm awkward, we're all awkward. We just laugh with each other and at me, but it's fine. So, just know I miss you guys terribly. We will get through this together. If anyone needs anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you don't have any of my contact info, Miss Tiffany definitely does. Just reach out to her, she'll give it to you. I miss you, I love you. Just keep stretching, keep working hard, and we'll see each other real soon.